Jay Beats a pro, and we knew KJ's new sponsor before you did.
But we didn't know if we should say it. That's just disc golf. I'm Jefferson.
I'm Swiss Cheese.
And this is Disc Golf World's podcast.
And we remember.
We did. Hell yeah, dude.
Prepped.
I'm proud of us. Also, we'll acknowledge it now very quickly just because it's Christmas time. So, hey, we're festive with some decorations. Got some goodies back here. But yeah, we're talking about the Preserve and the Majestic in this podcast because Majestic wasn't a DGPT event. It was an A-tier. Disc Golf World did some coverage of it. So, might as well just jam in there in the end if you guys are stick around till then. But first, we got to talk about Preserve. Our first event we went to that we were not on tour for. That's when they went to the West. They did all their other events. We're come back now after like a couple months, I want to say.
Yeah, man.
Because that was June.
I don't know if it was a couple months. It was there was like a month.
Maybe. Yeah, it was like June-ish.
Yeah, because you had DDO, OTB. Yeah. That's probably like a month and a half.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so that was a kind of return. So it's kind of neat to see everybody again. Like, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of like you got to get through all the hellos and like what's up. And so it's kind of cool on that front. And I love going to Minnesota, bro.
We've gone to this is our second time at Preserve? Third time?
Third, I think.
Third time, yeah.
Third.
And we even went back when it was first made, like COVID time. We went super early on. So we have a little bit of connection to the airborne property. What is it called? Is that what it's called?
Yeah, right.
Is it right?
Yeah,
Airborne? But isn't it not anymore? Because it's or is it just Preserve? I don't even know now. I feel
know.
bad because our homies Hutch is like part of that.
Yeah.
I feel bad now.
Yeah, that's only gotten cloudier. That's the other funny thing with the latest news. But yeah, like I love going. Minnesota disc golf is great. There's what you're gonna get. There's solid courses to get rounds in. The community's awesome. The tournament's solid. So yeah, like I don't mind going there, and it's like I never have an issue going there. It's 5 hours,
and it's one of the closer ones to us. Like you said, 5 hours. Friends wanted to come along, so we had an Airbnb.
Yeah,
so it was a little bit nicer on that front. We were able to. It was supposed to be like I don't know how to say it. We were definitely more of a relaxing style. We didn't do necessarily our typical disc golf world where we sit on every hole. And no, maybe we did actually. I can't really remember. Maybe I did do that.
I don't think so.
No, right? I don't remember. I can't remember. There was we'll talk about it later on with like the big news of Preserve, but we'll talk about just the Airbnb situation first because we had four guys originally planned on it, 3 rooms. Your boy had to sleep on the floor on an air mattress in the living room. No problem. I don't really give a shit if I'm being honest. But we had an extra guest that we weren't planning on, but we were cool with it because it was dope. Connor O'Reilly slept in the driveway.
In the driveway.
Van, but yeah.
In his van and shared a shower and everything along those lines, did laundry. So like we helped out on that front. Yeah.
Took over our table with his bonsai collection.
Bro.
I knew you want to talk about it.
Man, Connor O'Reilly he took up a whole this was a really big Airbnb for our standards at least. Like took over like this whole counter space. The kitchen table that was in there, and he had like this whole like topiary, like all these like plants, and Connor like for an hour and a half every morning with a water bottle just and just like pruning and shearing, and it was just like wild, bro. And like they had like rabbit skulls and like also
he would take things from courses around there and like put them in. He could tell you every single basically down to the whole of
I even know it's like the more impressive part was not like he did all this, it was like where do you put this in your van? Like that was
it
like
had like a spot in his passenger seat.
Yeah, sure. Like that was the wildest thing to me. Is like, dude, this is like this amount of space, and like you're putting this in a van and traveling with this was just beyond.
You need a hobby on tour that's not pay for it,
everybody does.
Disc golf, you only do disc golf for so long,
It was kind of neat, but it was also like,
But then when every morning, and maybe it was a little after, but I know there was some mornings. The worst part about sleeping in the living room, and this is my gripe because I never get to actually express. This is my time to vent because no one understands. When you sleep in the common space, we'll say you are up with the first person that decides they're going to take over the living room. Sometimes maybe Mr. Connor O'Reilly spraying his bonsai collection. And what are you supposed to do? Wake up. That's what it is. You're waking up. But the problem is you're also going to bed with the last person every night because
the party animal.
Yeah, and it's always super late where it's just like
chatting you up.
Yeah, where it's like I'm done talking now. Like and it's very obvious, you know. And then it's like, I don't know. That's just my gripe, where it's like, man, now
That happens to you quite a bit.
bullshit. I mean, you live through it. It's fine, but it is funny. It is.
Yeah, the Airbnb was nuts. We played Burial Kart.
You think people are gonna know that? Is our demographic gonna know what Burial Kart is?
I think so.
Okay.
Our demographic, maybe not. But
Or you just slam a beer before you gotta finish a Mario Kart race. We did some of that.
Yeah, that's all.
I don't know if Connor played or not. I can't think.
No, it was just it was
before,
4 of us.
Yeah, it was
I know
before
that was a fight. I
respectable.
do remember that.
The whole living room situation. Connor took all his discs, all his Lone Star boxes, and just separated them by whatever. And the whole living room basically was just filled with Lone Star the entire weekend, which was cool. He let us take 2 discs each, which was dope. One went in the bag for a short period of time, so I lost it.
Both of them are in my bag.
Still,
like one of them. All right, let's be real. For a brief moment. So I remember like grabbing the disc and like I remember just feeling the rims and just being like, what is this? Like they're just kind of wonky, like indented at times. I was like, whatever, it's free, that's fine. Like, but I'd like if I was like purchasing it, I'd be like, I'm gonna move on. That being said, the tumbleweed that Connor gave me is probably the truest disc to flight numbers that I've ever had out of the bag.
I was like, you're talking shit, but you do bag it.
So out of a store into my hand, first throw, it was like, these are true flight numbers, at least to my arm. That was like just wild to me. It's like the most thing. Yes, I did play with it a little bit, but it's in there. I don't know. I'll pull it out when I pull it out. We'll see how it goes.
During this trip too, we probably played the most amount of during the actual event time. We played the most amount of disc golf. Where even to begin with, the reason that we got the Airbnb and it was a trip, actually, I totally forgot, is Drew, who played in the preserve qualifier.
Yeah.
So I got to caddy for him, Drew. It was cool. We got some clips of that, so I got to make some videos.
He didn't do too well, did he?
No, he didn't. I was gonna try to leave that out, but no, he didn't do good at all. But hey, he had a good time. He had
didn't
some
finish
highlights.
last or anything.
I think it was second to last.
Okay, that's what I thought.
It was pretty.
It's not last, bro. Someone
right.
DNF.
I don't know. Not sure, but it was fun to follow along and do all that stuff. And then we played another round with Connor at the property, where it was me and Drew playing double style against Connor, and we were getting killed for like a little bit. Like it wasn't.
Yeah,
I remember Connor started off like 6 down or some stupid. 4 down to 4. Like it was ridiculous, and we were just not doing good like at all. We were just it was horrible.
I do remember like Connor also had a different vision of what we were filming and like what we were doing.
Yeah, well, because he was trying to. Oh, we're doing like whole breakdowns. And stuff. And that's not what we do.
Yeah, so it's kind of like
it was weird.
It's like, man, we're just gonna smash this all together.
Because the reason we even got in that situation was Drew said to Connor that we were gonna do the videos with them, and I remember being like, bro, we can't post that out of the disc golf world.
Yeah,
like, we don't do that stuff. That was like the compromise. Was we went to go film something, posted it on Berdogi, and it did horrible. But it was whatever.
Yeah,
that was funny. And the best part was every time I would walk up and do a whole breakdown, I'm like, I'm cutting this out. I don't care.
People always love to volunteer what our content should be on our channel.
I guess too, like Connor did get a front 9 or a back 9, so I guess he needed some of that stuff. But once it was our time to film, I'm like, dude, this is B-roll, like in the background.
Yeah.
Like we're good. We don't need to like do anything. But after that, we also played a couple rounds at just other courses with them, which I don't know why we can't play.
No, you didn't even get to the best part of the preserve. Actually,
we talk about the actual round. All right,
yeah, you forgot.
I don't want to put him on blast,
bro.
bro.
The height intro was like you beat the pro. You haven't even talked about how you beat him.
Yeah, that's right.
That was literally the only scripted part of our content right now is literally the first 30 seconds, and you're like going to bypass the whole part of how you beat him.
I forgot. My bad.
So they were playing. It was him and editor Drew. They were playing best shot.
Still giving him matter. That's dope.
Yeah, whatever. He doesn't edit. It just flows by now.
You're right.
Like you said, Connor went like 6 under through the front. He was hitting like stupid stuff too.
Deep, bro.
Yeah, he was hitting like some deep stuff. And I was like, oh man, they're getting smoked. I think you guys were down like 4 or 5 at one point and just getting smoked. And I'm like, oh man, this isn't even it. And what hole was it? It was the long one.
That the I don't even know what it's called. The meltdown happened.
Yeah.
It was like 15.
Yeah. Yeah. And like,
we were not doing so hot, basically.
Yeah. I think they went into the hole down like 4 or 5. Connor made a joke on his approach of like, oh, I got strokes to burn. I'm gonna run it.
Yeah, through a super aggressive line and a horrible like wind that was.
This is the one they
gusty.
just extended this year.
Yes.
Yeah.
So he was throwing a bomb on a hole where there was tight OB. And dude, it was like it was probably one of the times where you knew it was kind of stupid, but still, you're gonna go for it because you're still advancing. You're still gonna beat us.
Yes. And then he proceeded to like 5-putt. Like
close.
They went in like down like minimum 3 strokes, if not more.
I want to say it was a 6-stroke swing.
Yeah, and they left with like a 3-stroke lead
with very like 3 or 4 holes to play.
Yeah,
and dude, that was it was.
And it was the dude.
Remember the next hole? That's now it's all come back to me.
Yeah,
it was because we were up by 1. I want to say because the next hole he pured it. We were like iffy. Drew and I's approaches horrible, and I banged like a 70-footer to keep it like up 1.
Was that short? Was that the little short?
That was the par 4.
Okay.
And then after that, we parked it.
Gotcha.
And then it was kind of then it was like, damn, like we got that shit.
Yeah.
And I remember it was like the
it was already over,
and like it was you could tell just like on the mood too, right? Like it was just kind of like I felt bad finishing the round. Like we just took something from him, but it's like,
dude, I wanted the putting to stop, bro. It was like watching like. Stop!
What we doing?
Dude, like it was just air ball, like back and forth, like 35-foot air balls, like 35 comebacker air ball, 35 comeback, like up and down. I'm like, bro, like we're filming, we could edit this. Like people are expecting you to make it. We'll lie about the score. It's not that big of a deal.
Yeah, no.
Like
no. It was tough. It was an emotional moment. But we got the dub. That's funny.
Assisted dub, but
but it works, right?
The win's a win, man. It works. But yeah, that was funny. Connor was not too happy.
No, I mean, how could you? After that, it's a tough situation. That was fun though. It was content.
Yeah, content. And then we went to another course. Terrible decision.
It was one of the worst decisions made, I would say. Yeah.
Of that, like
I think afterwards, I don't know who chose the course because we looked at it after and it was one of the worst in the area. Yeah. Rightfully so. So overgrown.
I think it was like closest to the house. Though,
remember the bugs were awful.
Dude, the bugs were so.
You couldn't even get.
Bad.
You drenched ourselves in bug spray.
Yeah. First of which, like we went out there without bug spray, and by like hole two, we ran to the car for bug spray because it was that bad.
Yeah.
And then like we didn't even finish the course. We're like, let's just go. Yeah,
the whole course wasn't even good. Yeah, we were all looking for this. Yeah, that was every time we play around, for some reason we need like a gimmick.
Yeah,
and this one was you got to pick like 6 discs and we would roll.
This is why we don't do this type of content.
I know, dude. We don't do this. We don't. And then it's like, dude, I don't play disc. I mean, at this point, I was playing a lot of disc golf, so it was whatever. But it's like, man, we could just have a chill round. Now people are just pissed. People don't even want to do this. People are mad that they're throwing like overstable discs on, putters and shit. It was dope. It was awesome. And I like it because I know when the switch flips for Swiss when he's done and not having a good time. And it's hilarious for me because I'm like, oh, he is so over it. He does not. He's being so nice to you and you don't even realize it. In his mind right now, enraged. And I'm going to hear it at the end. And it's funny when Swiss is just done. Because he still puts on the front that no one can. I hope at least no one can tell. Because I'm just used to it over the years. You're my fucking uncle, so I understand like the language. Because I do it too. It's like the such our family stuff where you're gonna be so passive aggressive, but you only it's like man. And
you are right.
Like I said,
it is such
and
a
by that
thing.
it was like hole 3 probably. It was and the best part was we were filming something, and again, this is why we don't do this style of content. Where we needed to go up to every single. I'm like, what disc are you throwing, man? And you're just like. Fucking tumbleweed. It's like, dude. It's like, all right, man. We got 4 holes left. Like, let's go home. And it's been a long day. Like, I get it.
It was a long day.
And bugs were killer. Like, no one wanted to be there.
Nobody.
But it was so funny. It was very funny.
The only Drew wanted to be there. Let's be real. Drew is like such the guy. Like, we're here. We got to finish it. It's like, Drew, no, we don't.
Yeah. The best part was every round. Connor O'Reilly's never beaten me in a round disc golf. We tied this time.
Nice.
But I had this really
Connor, bro.
Just saying. And then the last round that we played, I'm pretty sure, at least I can't really think, was again another gimmick one. This one I was more on board with. It was filming for the second channel, Berdogi. We played a shotgun round where basically, if you guys don't know, everyone's got to know what a shotgun is. I think right with a beer, you're slamming a beer. Someone's slamming a beer before they tee off on every hole. We go to the press conference. I don't even think we asked questions. I remember going to this one and seeing the lineup and almost being disappointed. We see Mr. Kevin Jones teeing off in the background. And at this point, I think it was already revealed that KJ was no longer a part of Prodigy. I don't remember the timeline.
For sure.
But so obviously, be a little Snoopy. We see, it wasn't even that much. Every single person's coming up to him like, oh, what are you bagging? What are you throwing?
The press conference was right next to the driving range.
Literally.
Like it was.
I think you could peel over there and see him throwing.
Yes.
I think I took footage of it.
And like, and every pro's coming up and talking to him about the discs and everybody. So like anybody in a rough vicinity, and again, press conferences are open to the public. Anybody could have been there. Quickly realized or quickly figured out what KJ was throwing instantly. Like it wasn't that like covert type thing. You know what I mean? Like, and trust me, you're at the preserve. You can find an open field anywhere on the goddamn preserve where KJ could have been warming up. And not have anybody see his disc, not be interrupted. Yeah. I'm not saying that like in a mean way, but like he could have found somewhere else. Like, you know what I mean? I understand like the concept is, hey, the driving range is there, it's marked, great. But like, if you're really trying to hide what you're throwing, and like, man, here we are in a quandary because like we have the press conference coming up, we got Twig coming up, and we have. You know what I mean? And like we have this information that like was a hot topic at that time because A, not many pros are dropped in the middle of the year, and B, let alone I can't remember an announcement like this in the middle of a season.
No.
Like so this was like uncharted territory, opportunity for promotion, like and everything. And here we're just sitting on this info and we really didn't know what to do with it. Like we didn't like
I can't remember if there was even anything for Twig that week that was big, or if we were looking for like that big topic to make it a video, I guess. And we had that information. We had no idea what to do with it. I remember going up to other pros and being like, "Hey, we're in this awkward spot. What should we do?" And at the end of the day, we just pocketed it. We knew that.
Essentially what I ended up saying. I do remember, like, we were been told this, that they've seen him throwing this, is what we said. And luckily that came out the same day that he announced. So, like, it wasn't even that, like, forward. But, yeah, we knew of it. But we could have easily have pumped out KJ to Innova and have it been released that Thursday if we really wanted to.
That was the thing I didn't understand about the press conference is, and I referenced being a little disappointed, and it was because I knew, at that point, the KJ was right there. How do you not be like, yo, bro, do you want to just hop on the mic real fast? This would be like breaking news. This would be huge.
Well, that was the other part of the thing is, how are you not putting KJ on the presser to where you can ask these sponsorship questions, you can answer all these, and like, it just didn't make sense. So like at that point, then you also hear some whispers, you know what I mean? And like, you realize, all right, something's going down. Right? Like we essentially hear he's gonna make the announcement. So that's also another part of the reason why we kind of like teased it the way we did. You know what I mean? So it was just
our thought was you're gonna go play round one. There's gonna be people there. It's gonna be known very quickly. So it's coming out, and it was coming out at 4 p.m. So your round was already gonna be over.
Yeah, and like he was on like feature card or like pretty late. I do remember.
He was on something where we were able to record because that was the whole, we showed up going into the day, gonna film KJ's. I think he had like Eagle on his card, so it was worth filming his entire thing. He wore a jacket over top that was very clearly covering up something. And
no need for a jacket.
I think it was, we could obviously, from everyone around.
Camera crew was following him.
And that's why it was special because there wasn't supposed to be a camera on that card.
No.
And there was someone like a media person following along, and that at this point we were on the tour for 3 months. We knew that this was not normal. So it was like, cool, following this card. Good thing we showed up, and it was by a hole. It was funny because it was like hole 5 and 6 or whatever it came up to be was no spectators, doesn't matter what
they did.
Pass. And typically I was just with the buddies that didn't have media passes, so we were like, cool, we'll just skip these 2 holes. There's probably no way he does something crazy over there. Obviously, we were wrong, but people at home didn't even hear it anyways, so we were on the same page essentially. If you don't know the reference, is basically, I don't know, I wasn't watching live. We saw tweets that people,
audio.
I mean, we talked about it on the cover, so the audio wasn't there. So kind of a no. But we were there not too much longer, and we had a cool shots of KJ wearing Innova merch and throw in super up close shots of KC Pro Rocks, and he shared it on Instagram and like collab posted. We're like, hey, that's cool.
Yeah,
like KJ kind of likes us. Follow us on
that's pretty neat.
Instagram. The other cool thing about the KJ was we're homies with Stash Discs, if you know them, and they're basically a thrift shop for discs. So they have a bunch of old stuff that KJ went up to immediately, was looking for Bosses, Destroyers, all the fancy Innova stuff that all the everyone throws, the classics, some would say. So we got cool shots of KJ picking out there. We got to interview Davis from Stash, and he got to talk about the experience and basically that. We got that inside scoop that you can only get from being at the event. And I thought those are some of the cool moments that we were able to capture through our content that goes hidden. That was that small little story that goes a little extra mile of the perspective of inside KJ and this culture.
Yeah, and it's the stuff that like most don't realize that. I think a lot of people like understand people are throwing old discs, but like tons of pros are going to Stash and hey, what you got? Because also like, man, pros are also like unloading stuff to Stash.
Well, that's what's cool is you realize how many pros are bagging stuff that was from a previous sponsored. It's like, oh, cool. You see the lineage of progression of that was in Eagles bag, now it's in Gannon's bag, and that was it was cool to see. And
if Stash is ever a vendor at an event, you will most likely, if you sit there, you'll see a pro picking through those bins at some point. Oh yeah, for sure.
There's gems.
Yeah, there's some. Yeah, like while on tour, we do not buy new plastic.
No, I don't buy new plastic. In general.
That's probably true. I can't remember the last one I bought. So, but yeah, man, that was kind of a neat. So yeah, it was interesting because like. It's such a weird dichotomy. Like just having that information, knowing that like we can make this, and it's not even like I hate when people try to like steal the concept of like you don't want to steal that promotion or you want to allow KJ to say it or this. I get that thought process, but at the same rate, like it's not like our exposure wouldn't make his exposure that much. It wouldn't. It's not like. That if we put out that video and said it with our chest, it would not have made his announcement out live any worse. No, you know what I mean? It wouldn't have cheapened it or anything. Like, so like I kind of like hate that, but it's also like you're trying to be respectful, and because it was just so new and so different, chose to pocket it or like chose to creatively say we knew it, but not say it with our chest.
Yeah,
like instead of just saying KJ to
that was. Video. I'm trying to think of another. This is probably the first time we had to sit on information that wasn't immediately like, oh, cool, we're going to go talk about this in the video. That was the first time we had to sit and think, like, would this potentially ruin a relationship? Or
we've had minor, but like not to the, this was the first scale where it's like, all right, where are we, you know what I mean? Like, like this is one of those, and like, so yeah, it was kind of interesting dichotomy. We chose to say enough as if we knew, but part of me regrets that. If I was like, I don't know if regret's the right word, but it's like, man.
No, I think it was a good decision. I think it would have went very poorly, and I think that
people would have cool
KJ. So I wouldn't have ever wanted to tarnish that relationship.
Yeah, people would have been upset.
It still was cool that I don't think anyone really had KJ throwing, like there was that very little bit of KJ throwing Innova on the live, but they were only worth him a very short amount of time. It was cool that you got to go watch Monday's video, and there was you got to see cool videos of KJ throwing his new bag and up close shots of him and his old KC rocks and stuff. And just be like, oh, he definitely got that from somewhere. He's had that, or I don't know. It was just again perspective that we were able to capture that I don't know if would have had attention.
It's so you're right, man. That is so cool that
it gets overlooked, and it's like, man, we kind of gave light to that.
And shame on everybody else for not doing it. You know what I mean? Like, how do you not how do you not follow and just do like a highlight video of like, hey, here's KJ's first day?
All I remember is the DGPT media person who I think shared something, and then the extra camera guy that I don't know followed them the entire round. I could have been, but like I said, I don't remember a whole lot of specific media around it.
Yeah.
Besides the announcement that didn't have audio and a little bit of an extra post here or there. I'm sure everyone's Instagram stories were blown up.
It just goes to show the silliness of like being too set in ways of like, this is what we're doing. And like
how is it just not like a recap of like his first tournament, his first round. How is he not talking about his first discs? Talking about his bag like super in depth, going through all of that. How is a camera person or someone not filming KJ while he's going through the bins at Stash and talking about why you need these things, how you know right now after just being told a couple days ago or a couple weeks ago? That's like, this is such gold content that all you need to do is throw a camera up.
Could really help that pre-show.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
What I'm saying? Like,
all that stuff could have helped with that.
Like, how is there not any sort of focus?
And that's where,
maybe because I was there and I'm missing it, but
bro,
I'm being so nice, right? Like, we are the media. Like, I would have known if I saw that, right? Like,
it was awkward. I even remember hitting up people and being like, "Hey, I know this. What do you think about whether or not we should do a video about it?" Like, said it out loud. And even they were like, I don't know. Like, you know what I mean? And so, like, when it was kind of like, when we're considering both of us, and so, yeah, like, there are times that we don't, as much as people want to claim that we do everything for views, we didn't do that one.
No. Well, there's stuff right now we're not doing for views. You kidding me?
Well, that's true, too. That's very
so stupid.
That's very true.
The coolest part of the reason we'll go back to Preserve always, though, isn't necessarily the play. Like, we're going back for Hutchville, man. We're going back for the homies.
Yes.
I don't remember even how we got.
We're gonna spend more time in Hutchville next time.
Yeah.
That's fine. Yeah. Like, we get invited. Hutchville was.
Well, how did we even meet Hutch? Like, one random day we just strolled up. And like, how did we even?
Dude, I think he came at us. Didn't he come to us? I think he like.
But I had his phone number somehow.
I think he like DM'd us.
Yeah, maybe he just messaged us on Instagram, and all of a sudden we're getting shown around like the pros, staff, whatever volunteer section of campers and fun. There's like a putting course. It was cool.
That was the only time where it was like, it kind of sucked to have an Airbnb. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, because we were
but like, I enjoyed the Airbnb, but like, so we only stayed one night. But Hutchville is essentially, man, like I said, there's so much property, like land, that you literally have every volunteer that wants to camp there. They had staying there, pros, players at every division that wanted to could stay on this property. And so we were there the final night. We stayed.
Well, that was every pro, bro. When we're around, we're getting, because this is, again, first term, we're back. A lot of people haven't seen us in months. They're like, you're staying Sunday, right?
Yeah,
you're still gonna be here Sunday. Like, yes, obviously. We would miss that.
For sure.
Come on, dude.
We're there. So Hutchville is basically like this little like commune with like with stage, trailers, like RVs, creates this little like village that's surrounded with food.
It's a celebration of the weekend and what was accomplished.
Full on instruments, like they did live karaoke.
Happened.
Casey
White sings Stick
I've never been to
Seasons
live karaoke where the band is playing the songs.
I don't go much to karaoke, so I wouldn't know.
But like literally like just jam session karaoke.
Ella Hansen playing the bass or something.
Ella Hansen can slap at the bass. She can slap at the bass.
KJ was on the sticks for a little bit. That was cool. I always love to hear I let the frisbee fly. So shit like that. It's always dope. Love it.
And so like you had a bunch of pros just partying up. Some were doing glow putting. Others were partying and karaoke, and like it was a great atmosphere, man. Hutchville kind of did it right.
Remember the first time we get there, we parked far away because we didn't know what was going on. We needed to bug out. We're gonna escape plan away from the madness.
When in doubt, like that's kind of like my ism is like be near the exit.
Yeah, always park the van in a way where we can just hop in and go.
Yeah, like if we got to dip, we're dipping.
We park, and the only other person in sight is Nico and Kat's van.
Yes,
like somewhere, and we're walking. We're going to the place we need to, and all of a sudden we hear, "Hey!" Daughter heads back, and then Nico's yelling at us yelling to Swiss, like, "You can't park there!" Some nonsense, something like that. And it's like, "I'm gonna call the PDGA police on you."
It's like, what?
And you're like, "Whoa, huh?"
Yeah.
And you're getting yelled at by Nico, so I understand. It's like
I just
flight or fight.
Yeah.
I understand. Usually, you're not gonna pick fight in that situation.
Man, when Nico yells at you, like, Nico scared the hell out of me at Waco.
Be scared.
I'm not gonna lie, like. I had a brief moment with Nico talking about like his course and stuff, and I was like, I don't know, like part of me is like, you just don't know what Nico's gonna do. Like he's a wild card, bro. Like I truly like I'm around. The more I'm around Nico, the less I know what he's gonna do. It's crazy to me. Like so yeah. So like Waco is like, all right, this dude's a little out there, and then like he starts yelling at me, and I'm like, what'd you like? I was like,
It was
what?
awesome.
Do I got to do something? Are you telling me to do something? Like I'll do it. Like just stop talking to me.
And then he's just joking, obviously.
Yeah, he was
and
just-
there's no
yeah.
PDGA police. Like
Yeah,
that's
he
what
was
was
just
hilarious
busting.
to me. But
Yeah.
it was pretty dope. And
I think I did just light a J too. Like that's what the joke was.
Yeah.
But, so I was also
Yeah.
of like the inebriation form too. So
I don't think I can recall much else of Hutchville. We played the putter course. That was
the putter
okay.
course was fun.
That was another moment where Swiss, I could tell real fast, was over it. I felt kind of bad. I was like, "Fuck, man."
Was I really that over it? Like
It got weirdly competitive at the beginning, where I was like, I brought the camera out, and I was like, I don't. And no, the problem was I brought the camera out, and I don't know if you like whiffed the first two, and I made like a slight joke, and it was like, all right, competitive mode was on for a second, and I was like, whoa, I didn't mean to do that.
well, man, I also like I do remember there was like a group ahead of us, so it was kind of slow.
A big
too.
group,
Yeah,
big group of.
So it's kind of like slow at times, and I was just like, like I think putter courses you gotta like just be able to blitz, like.
yeah.
And
we
when
were
I'm
just
sitting there,
I think the issue of why we didn't go through was like, well, we don't really know what to do after we finish, so we need at least a buffer. Like, we gotta plan this out a bit. Like, we finished too fast. The
Yes.
sun's still up.
yeah,
And I don't know any of you really yet.
yeah, it's a lot easier to get along with people in the darkness
Yeah.
than it is during daylight. That's
A
for
few
sure.
beers, you know,
Yeah, that's for sure.
social.
Yeah. So man, and like that is kind of the neat thing of like, man, the preserve is such a cool property. People are like fishing, kayaking, sick property. Ever get a chance, go volunteer, go stay.
If you
And I
ever-
know it'll be awkward for you, but try to not make it awkward and go.
If you get invited to Hutchville or Sunday night party,
Yeah.
whatever they reference it,
No
you
matter
go.
what, go.
You go.
No matter what you go.
It's worth it.
No matter what you go. And don't get me wrong, man. I'm not gonna tell you guys it's weird. Like it's gonna be awkward, but you just embrace it. Because it's like kind of like, man, I think a lot of people. It is funny watching like volunteers because at that time we're seasoned vets and like people are coming up to us.
Nice. You call it seasoned vets?
But well, at least touring,
Nice.
bro. Like,
Nice.
I think when you get like 4+ months of touring, I think you're
Seasoned
kind of
vet.
locked in,
Alright,
right? Like
fair,
that's
fair.
seasoned.
Okay.
That's like 2 years too, like 2023, 2024. Like I kind of.
Respect. All right. Upgrade.
I'm fucking calling it.
I like it, man. Say it with your chest.
But
I like it.
But anyway, so it's kind of funny, like, so when you see volunteers who like may or may not know us, and like where they're just like, who are these dudes? And like people are just coming up to us and like chatting. That was also another funny thing is like when we bring like these are Jay's friends and I've known them long enough because they're all college buddies. But like when you're hitting that parking lot and you're getting stopped, like people actually see like, oh these like these dudes actually are like kind of people know them. like,
Yo,
that was-
we're friends with these guys, man.
it was kind of weird. So like for them, it's like people might ask for a photo. I'm like, yeah, it happens. Like,
Oh, yeah.
So it's kind of like funny to like actually like introduce people who don't like see us on tour.
Like I said, I reiterate this point a lot because disc golfers probably do know this. Nobody knows disc golf, man. So it's like
No.
they don't understand this little bubble, and they're partial disc golf professional fans, and then it's like, oh, this is your favorite pro coming to say like, what's up? It's like, yeah. But
Absolutely. So that was kind of neat. But yeah, you ever get a chance to Hutchville or pretty much like in any tour stop where there's places to stay on the property, almost every Sunday is going to be some type of get together.
Mhm.
And if you,
It's always fun.
Yeah, if you get that opportunity, you take it, you embrace the awkwardness of it, and you say what you can say. You tell people what you can tell. You don't tell the rest.
shout out Hutch for making it nice and cozy for us and no problems.
Absolutely.
And we'll be back, so we'll see you next year. Hopefully we get VIP passes for free. That'd be sick, right? Just loosely put that out there.
We're gonna need them. we're gonna.
I like how
need-
you're really going in on it. It's
We're
funny to
gonna
me.
need them. That's just, nothing's happened. That's just my prediction.
Yeah, I got you.
I'm just reading the tea leaves.
Next morning, wake up. We already did the video, right? That's what happened. We went off on Sunday.
No.
It happened, and we did the video.
Dude, like I remember we got up so early to do the video. We wrote it in the morning and like recorded
then
it.
we saw
yeah,
Luke in
yeah, bro.
really?
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, we Did we write in the parking lot then?
Yeah, we wrote right in
wow.
there. We wrote right there. I think we didn't go anywhere.
We couldn't have.
Yeah, or we wrote, or we did like a semi-write session. And
I think
then,
we semi-wrote or like did at least a little bit.
and then we wrote that morning and recorded that morning, and then the plan was to drive home and you edit it, I drive.
Oh yeah,
That was the plan. So yeah, we literally just got done. We're sitting in the middle of the field recording in the van.
They pulled up while we're recording. You're right.
Precisely. And like, yeah, Luke pulls up, invites us to breakfast, and you're not gonna turn that down either.
Oh yeah, Paul Ullman.
I think that's like the one
Luke
story
Humphries.
about tour guys. Like, if you haven't realized, if you're offered, you say yes.
Yeah, it's always gonna be a good time. It's always gonna be a story for you.
Yeah, and then like you go from there. Whatever happens, you kind of adjust from there. So yeah, we went to breakfast.
Even when you know you don't have time and you have to put out a video, you got to do it.
Yep,
you got to do it.
Absolutely. So we went to breakfast. Tall Paul, Shasta was there, dude.
Yeah,
like,
met Shasta Chris.
yeah. So it was a blast.
And then from there, we loosely put this idea out because the next weekend at to Preserve, some of the pros were already going to Europe, that European swing, or some were staying back for a big A tier out in Minnesota, the Majestic, where they play at Blue Ribbon Pines. And now this year was the first time they're going to play at the Hollows again, the newly Keller Visca redesign, very famous course over there. And again, huge A tier that a bunch of touring pros were going to be at because Preserve was so close.
Mm-hmm.
I put it out there, and I don't even know the situation. Basically, we got down to, we're gonna Disc Golf World is gonna help out and do a press conference and do extra media, and we're just gonna cover it. But we drove together, so
yeah, dude, bro,
yeah. So we, from that Monday, you drove, I edited, whatever happened, we got the video out in time. That's what we do. Somehow we always get them out in time. I don't know how we do it. It just happened.
We shock ourselves sometimes.
I stayed home after this 5-hour drive, stayed home, played leagues on Tuesday, Wednesday, left on Thursday, got there just in time, pulled into the Hollows about an hour before the press conference was supposed to start. By that, I mean I was going to be there with the GK asking, I think I just asked questions again. It was just like we talked about Persimmon Ridge, except a lot less organized, and just showed up, threw a camera on. I interviewed Katrina Allen like an hour before because she wanted to get, she was there ready to go, and none of the audio was even set up, so I got to scrap that. That's how it started, basically. And it was awesome because I was like, yeah, that, I can't remember how the mic got muted, but somehow the mic got muted.
Oh, I do.
And the entire 10 players, maybe less than that, like 8 players recorded. I didn't have any of the audio. So it got out, like, we were going to post it same day, couldn't post it same day. Unfortunate. I think that's why we didn't do daily round recaps. That was fine. We didn't need to do, that was a stretch. But, so that happened. It was pretty cool, though. I remember, like, that was the 3rd time I met Big Germ, so it was cool to introduce myself now, 3 time, whatever. We had a really actually good conversation about extra added amenities to courses, because at the Hollows, the big topic that I wanted to make the video was they threw a basket in the gazebo, and some people liked it, some people didn't. Big Germ was a fan, I believe. I think that's what I walked
Germ
with.
would be a fan.
Yeah, so basically every single person I walked up to was like, cool, talk about this, the gazebo, and then it was some random other things that I try to talk to. And it was awesome because I'm not in any time constraint. I don't care if I talk to you for a minute, 8 minutes, talk for half an hour. I don't care. But if I have my questions and I go through it and it's over, we're done. Some of the people, I felt really bad because for like Noah Mansma, for like example, who I know was excited probably, and Luke Taylor I interviewed before anything he really did, or that was like coming off the Preserve and coming off something else where he wanted media attention. I'm sure was excited to have it, and then just ran through my questions with 1-word answers. I'm like, bro, like this is what I got, you know?
Yeah.
So they got to be part of the video and stuff, and it was cool.
It's all I can use though. Yeah.
Right. It was cool because Luke would just be like, see anyone like walking by a pro, he's like trying to get in this. And then a lot of people were just like, I'm not going to say no. I remember Matty O was really trying not to get in it.
Dude,
and he was fighting back. And Luke was like, no, bro, like get in the video. Like I had to like push him in it. It was cool though. Owen had some great liners there. She always does. But I remember that was all like getting people in the chair is sometimes difficult, which sucks because man, it is good content when you can just have a bunch of pros sitting there talking. I don't know, like the public perception of those videos, but they're fun to do because you don't get a lot of perspective from pros, and we were able to just sit there and pull some random topics on just to hear cool things. I don't know. It's cool when they can just say it and I don't have to be like, this is my opinion. I don't, then it's not me getting shit on.
And that was the Majestic. It was at 2 courses, right?
Yeah, it was at Blue Ribbon Pines, and they played a 24, 20-something hole layout. And then it was the Hollows' first time being played on like a professional type setting.
Wasn't this the famous one where Hamas hit the tree?
Was it the tree? And like it rolled back, and yeah.
Rolled behind the tee.
I filmed that, yeah. I mean, GK filmed it too, but that was the cool thing about the A tiers too, is I don't know if there's media restrictions. Maybe someone could have told me no, but it felt as if, because I remember even the GK guys asked me if I was filming. It felt like it was cool. Maybe like if they're mad at me for doing that, I apologize. I thought we were cool who's done it. But I had pretty much unrestricted access to just film right now. I would just literally stand right next to the TCAM guy.
Nice.
And I would just get all the coverage of the lead card. And it's cool because if someone's popping off somewhere else, I'll just go jump over there.
Yeah.
Or if I want to get some artsy shots, I could go do that. So it was cool to work alongside them on getting, and it was like they would post their same day or next day coverage or whatever they were doing at the time. And it's like, our video's gonna get posted so much later, guys. Like, don't even stress. Like, it doesn't affect your stuff.
If you guys want to dip your toes into like a pro tournament, do like in a well-established media covered A tier.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna get like the far better access. Granted, you might not have like the amount of pros or big name pros or something along those lines, but the access that you're gonna get to is like insane.
Most time you just walk on. Too.
Yeah, and you're not paying for it. Right?
Yeah, and there's a lot less people to worry about
for
getting
sure.
coverage,
like
see the stuff.
So like that's a very solid point if you ever want to get like a solid A tier, dip your toes in it, because it's gonna be like, dude, even like you watch like any of those little coverage, you had that big arm just the other. There's nobody there.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, just hit those up, see them, and like go to them and like hang out. That's all you gotta do.
And if you guys have connections with A tiers and that do get covered, and you want disc golf world coverage, trying to dip our toes into A tier coverage and getting out in there doing more focused stuff on that. So if you got pros, let us know. We want to do some stuff. We're gonna put out some feelers to some people, but it's good to get the word out. So, disc golf world wants to cover as much professional disc golf as we possibly can. And
that's right. It might be the wave of the future.
That's what I'm saying too. And
like,
we don't.
In all honesty,
and the only way to get more attention, more popularity on people giving a shit, if we're being honest, is to have more media attention and have people care about the event. That was my whole thought on getting coverage of the Majestic. Was this tournament is one of the longest A tiers ever seen. And there's going to be nothing besides a little bit of post coverage. Like, talk to me about the Hollows being introduced. Talk to me about this weekend long. Talk to me about how the payout is literally less than it was in like 2012 or whatever. Like, how's it going down in money? Like, can we talk about how this is like the prestigious event? All you guys want to have your name on it. Has a dope ass trophy with the hockey jersey, and you're getting paid nothing. At some rate, we're either gonna not give it. Like, we're not gonna care because it's like, who cares, Or we need to start making them. Giving people reasons to care.
To tune in. And
like, who says, like, if Disc Golf World can get $5,000 for a winner, is that not more prestigious than some of your A tiers? Like, is that, or is it, I don't know what the perspective on that is.
What do you mean $5,000?
Like if we're talking about money, right? And this is like, this A tier is the pinnacle before you're on the pro tour, basically the top level, right?
Yeah, it's one of
and you're getting paid. Yeah. The winner, I think, got $2,400.
There are a few like A tiers that are like the Majestic Memorial, like, you know what I mean, where you're like,
yeah, I'm sure there's some A tiers that get a bigger cash. I understand.
Sure,
that.
But I'm just saying, like, name wise, it is one of the most premier A tiers, and
it would just be interesting. Like, what if there was a one-time tournament event? Like, if we got somehow $25,000 to get to the winner. And it was one, like, whatever our format was. Does that become anything? Does that mean anything towards a disc golf career? Is that now a talking point?
Ooh, you mean, does it become like an accolade to like say,
does another podcast, does someone have to acknowledge, like, hey, this was a big event that this many top
dollars?
Pros,
absolutely.
Right?
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Interesting.
You get, if you're getting into the border.
You hearing this, people? Just letting you know.
Anybody who's got deep wallets.
Anyone who wants to talk, bro.
Yeah. I think if you get into the territory of like, if you're putting up like even a prize pool of like a plus event where like the winner's getting over 10 grand, I think people would have to talk about it, right? Like,
I feel it.
And if you throw 20 out of that, absolutely.
Now, what if there's a bunch of nobodies there? Not nobodies, but what if it was? I'm not even gonna throw a name because I'm not trying to disrespect nobody. Like, you know what I mean?
Like,
it's not Paul. It's not Ricky. It's not.
You're
Gannon.
not talking like you're not talking.
Nobody in the top 15 shows up, but you still got names you know. You still got people that possibly have won. Does it mean anything? The first one.
If you do something different, yes. If it's the same,
just like if not, if it's just a straight up disc golf tournament.
I kind of think it's like, you have a chance. Like, we could do it, sure. The way we promote, absolutely. You know what I mean? I'm not going to argue that. Like, we probably couldn't do it, like, promote it well enough. But does everybody else embrace it?
The other cool thing about Majestic was I slept in the minivan outside of the GK Airbnb.
Oh, you did that. You did the Connor O'Reilly with GK.
I did, and this was the first time I slept in the minivan alone at this point, which is also a cool adventure. I got to sleep on the air mattress for the first time.
Yeah, it's cool. Swiss kind of stayed. Swiss is going to talk to himself in third person like that, break that wall. Yeah, I did not go on some of these trips. I kind of had work and things of that nature. A home with a wife, starting.
This
school.
is just a random, random.
So like, this is kind of like. Didn't do some of these stops, but like I was definitely informed the entire way. Like it's not like we did
like 9 times every day.
Yeah, absolutely.
I forget things.
Yeah, this is what I heard. Let me talk about this. This is what I heard. So, but yeah, man, an A tier like that is cool. It's such a good vibe. I love the A tier.
Yeah,
I really do.
This is a funny experience too that I guess I could share. On the day of their skins, because I didn't have the audio at the press conference, right? I fucked that up, so I needed to wait, and I didn't have anything else to do.
So their video release?
Yeah, so they were recording skins, so I just chilled in the background. I wasn't really walking around. I was like chilled for a little bit, but it was cool because a fan came up from Berdogi and was like, "Hey, this is really funny. Can I get you to like write on my discs?" And I was like, "Huh?" He's like, "Yeah, I want you to just like write offensive things on my disc." I'm like, "Yeah, for sure, I got you." And then he's like, "Hey, you want a beer?" And then I get it, the beer, right? And I look at it, and it's a weed drink.
Oh, nice.
And I'm like, I'm not opposed, but next time you're giving someone a beer,
this should be communicated.
Yeah, this is not a beer. You know what I'm saying? Like this is maybe
we should talk this through, bro.
Yeah, but it was not good. But it's all right.
I guess it's kind of on you to read the label too.
I didn't. I acknowledged it. I'm like, bro. Well, then he gave me another drink. It was like 12%. I'm like, bro. Like, I'm just chilling, dog. I'm like,
it's hot out, bro. I'm not trying to like get it hammered. Like,
well, it was fun. I'm trying to look at my notes because I don't think I really did anything else. It was cool though. This is the random notes that I'd start basically my every morning.
Were you like using the shower in the GK?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think I did it one time. I was in there like for a weekend trip. So
I got you. You didn't even. They couldn't even give you a floor space, huh?
No, I definitely could have took one. That was more like of a me like I'm just gonna do my own thing. I'm not a morning person. We've discussed this.
Fair.
And when it's with other people there,
that's fair.
I'm not like because I have to go up and early, go do this stuff. I'm just not like I'm gonna say hi in the morning and do good morning and small talk. I'm just gonna dip and do my thing. And then I would get called out every morning. Like Angie would call me out every day. Like you're not gonna say like that's a later story. But yeah, every morning where I wouldn't come say hi, so then I would have to awkwardly be like do like a search around the living room, be like, anyone here? Like all right, or they'd be like, oh, breakfast. So that was a cool part. They'd always be feeding me, which I very much appreciate. Like I mean, I'm talking shit obviously always, but love the guys and love everyone for letting me stay and take over a little bit. It was cool at the beginning too because the Swedish Open, I think, was going on. So every morning or afternoon, it would be like covered. Everyone was watching coverage. So it'd be like, oh, here's Luke, here's Paul Oman, here's the GK guys. And we'd all be like discussing things. And
that's neat.
Getting that perspective.
I would love
of,
this set in that one.
They're just talking disc golf. It was like a cool moment to just take in and hear some perspectives maybe I would never have or some ways of looking at the game that it opened my mind, I guess.
Did that Airbnb have a bidet?
No, it did not.
Oh man, we forgot to mention our Airbnb had a bidet. Game changer, guys. Bidets are game changers. They always have been. Get on board.
Get on board, folks.
That's my advertisement. We need a bidet sponsor. Yeah, bidet sponsor.
That's the next step.
I'll read that ad read all day, bro. Tell me that wouldn't fit on our content. Better than Manscaped. I'm just saying.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, I'd rather have a bidet company. But yeah, I think do you got anything else?
I think
Majestic?
that wraps it up. No, I think that's all I got to talk about.
Who won that?
Andrew Marweed.
Oh, yeah, I knew it was a name that that makes sense.
Yeah.
Didn't he just win out like on the final hole?
Yeah, Adam was winning last couple holes. I don't know if it was the last hole, but it was Adam had the lead for damn near the entire event, and then right at the end, it was just, I think it was tied, or maybe it was tied at the very end, and he went OB, and Andrew just birdie hockey jersey, got some cool clips. It was dope though. It was fun. Next event or next episode, we're gonna be talking about Ledgestone, which is our home tournament. I can't think of. Oh yeah, we got things to talk about. I don't know what we want to tease. This video is already super long. I don't know if we should tease the whole. We get quick rapid fire.
Real
tease.
quick ones. We get thrown out of an Airbnb.
That happened.
What else weird happened?
That was.
Man, no. I don't know if we'll share it, but probably like one of the greatest on-course interactions we've had. That one morning where Luke was yelling at us.
No, I feel like it's worth
sharing.
sharing.
We might share that one. That was fucking sick time. That was a good time. Yeah. Fly marts and all that.
We'll see you then. Oh no, we have to. Never mind. We want to talk shit about the signs not getting fixed. Oh, we got a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
All right, guys, we're gonna see you next week.
This is the C tier,
Subscribe.
bro.
This is gonna be dope. See you then.